I'm Stuart Bloor, I'm on a gravel pit. I love gravel pits, and if there's one word for me that fits with a gravel pit, it's the word windswept. With that two words, anyway, you know what I mean. And this particular one is a big venue, and certainly when the wind does come up, it gets like you fish in the sea. But it's a nice day today, and I'm beginning my spring campaign. And I fished here before, but although I've been here before, the first thing I've done on arrival is to pull a marker float through the swim. I know where the features are, I know there's a gravel bar out there, but rather than rely on the fact that I fished it so many times in the past, I still want to put that marker float in exactly the right spot, because it's so easy to just cast out, particularly on a big water like this, and actually lose your bearings. So got the marker float out, and I'll show you that now, sitting in the water. Now that my marker float's out, mixing my ground bait up and ingredients to catapult out. I'll show you that in a moment. It's in the bucket down here at the base of the camera, the tripod. But I've got hemp, boiled that this morning so it's nice and fresh. Got some sweet corn, got some brown crumb, wheat, and I've added some corn sleep liquor. And as you can see, that's over now, you know, that bottle's finished. And it's also clear, which means that once I put the corn sleep liquor into the mix, I mixed it with some water from the venue, swirled it round, and used that last little bit of stuff out of there. It's like filling your tank up with petrol, isn't it? You squeeze that last bit. So I'll do this again. Now I'll carry on. Squeeze that last bit of petrol out because it's so expensive. Not that this is too bad, of course, but it's still the same thing, isn't it? I'm ready to cast out my first rod. There's the lead, see there. Got a hook length, and I'll talk you through this more in the article. Let's get out. It's now late afternoon. It's now late afternoon, I'm all set up and I'm fishing. As you can see, I've got my shelter up behind me, just here for the night, so I've got just a simple shelter to just keep me dry, because it is predicted that rain will come in for tonight, not the full bivvy and all the works there. Both rods are out, put some bait out. I will do the same again just before dark. That's when I'm expecting the fish to come on the feed. So hoping to get a good night here this session. I've had my hair done recently, as you can see. Well, I've had it all took off, and my hat is like Velcro on my head, so I think that's good for when you're doing an overnighter or whatever, you know, a few nights, because you usually wake up with your hat all over the place. Well, this hat is not going to move at all, it's stuck to my head. Anyway, let's get these fish. That short clip of a bird there on one of the islands on the gravel pit is an oyster catcher. I'm inland, I'm in the Midlands, so it's always good to see one of those. Go to the coast, of course, you see lots of them, but when you do spot one inland, and particularly on a venue like this where they do breed, I've been able to video the young in the past on the islands, then that's a real achievement. Also been listening to chiff chaffs as well, and I expect, although it's a short session, to encounter some decent birds during this particular outing. I'm down by the rods now. I've cast out again. This will be the last time that I cast, unless I get a fish, of course, until morning. The venues that I target, the species even, all those factors together, I think this place, more than anything, the one word that sums it up, that's necessary to crack it, is patience. I've had some good fish from here. I've had double figure bream. I've had my personal best tench at the moment, £9.12. I've also picked up a few rogue carp pushing £30 when I've been targeting tench and bream. But the one thing above all that you need is patience. And that's the great thing about angling, isn't it? This isn't everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone wants to sit here all night or sleep all night next to the rods in the hope that you might get just one fish. But if you do, then that one fish could be a real cracker, and that is right up my street. Not everyone's, but it's right up mine. I'm back on the gravel pit. I didn't catch anything the first night that you saw earlier in the video, or saw just in the video, because for you it's just a moment or two, isn't it? For me it's a while. Second session, didn't catch anything either, but is it going to be a case of third time lucky, as they say? All I know is that these gravel pit bream here can be quite elusive. Not if you ask the carp anglers. They catch them all the while, of course, and they always get one at 2 a.m. That's the curse of the carp angler, isn't it? But for me, targeting them, I find that they are quite elusive, but when I do catch one, it's a brilliant feeling, and I'm hoping to get that feeling tonight. Well, here I am. I'm now down at the water's edge. I've got something in the net. Let's show you. And there it is. Beautiful bream. Well, to me anyway. Target species. In the water, and it's off. I'm now celebrating with a cup of tea. It's about 10:30 now. I had that fish at 10 o'clock, so the night is still young. Who knows what might turn up. But as soon as I did catch that fish, I cast the rod out, cast the bait out again, and got the fish in the net, and then photographed it and put it onto camera, because when those bream are moving through, then I want to get that bait back out. Don't want to waste any time whatsoever. They are, as I've already said, very elusive, and you can put some time in, as I certainly do, chasing these particular fish, and when it comes together, it's brilliant. Not many anglers target bream, of course. Most anglers catch them, maybe skimmers down the local canal, local pond or whatever, and there are probably anglers watching this now saying, you know, you should fish this place, mate. I catch a bream every 5 minutes. Maybe, but not the sort of fish that I'm targeting. They are very, very elusive, but it's just great when it comes together. And talking of bream and different venues and different aspects of fishing, I put my phone on just to tweet the fact that I caught a bream, keep it off to save the battery. And I had a text waiting for me from Dave Harrell, winding me up about the wolves, because he supports the enemy. Anyway, Dave holds the River 7 record, which he did with a big net of bream, and anyone who's fished the lower 7 in particular knows that when you get on a shoal of those fish, and if you're barbel fishing, you've certainly come across them, they do literally queue up sometimes to get caught. But the place where I am, this particular venue, is different altogether. And if you look through my angling journal over the years, you will know that I have fished for bream on a regular basis during the springtime, and I've had some good fish from here. I've had doubles from here, some good fish. Don't really catch small ones, just big fish, but I've certainly put some time in. And speaking from memory, I think one of my articles a few years back was entitled 320 for 5. Not that I was referring to a cricket score, if I remember the figures correctly, it was something like that. I was referring to the fact that I'd done 320 rod hours for 5 fish. Not everyone's cup of tea, but certainly mine. And talking a cup of tea, the kettle's boiling now, and I'm going to have mine.